So it's Thursday morning, 28th of July. I'm off to Geneva this morning, EasyJet 8464. It's 7 o'clock now and Gatwick North is rammed, full of holiday traffic. To be fair to the airport staff, everything's moving through, so there's queues to get through border control, queues to get through security, but it's all kind of moving along. Everyone seems to know what they're doing. If you're travelling, put your cosmetics in a clear plastic bag. It will save you a lot of hassle by the time that you get to the gate. Once you're airside, it's rammed. If you want to get a coffee, big queues upstairs, you know, at these coffee and snack places up there. Duty free was rammed, so people are obviously spending a load of cash that they saved up through lockdown, and yeah, it's pretty chocker. So arriving Geneva 9ish, something like that, pick up an Alamo car and then scooting over to Andermatt, stopping off at a few places on the way. Hope you enjoy my little trip. Come with me. The pre-boarding lounge at Gatwick North. You go over that big air bridge. Bit of a fan of EasyJet, they're okay. That's what it's all about. That's the stamp you get when you arrive in Switzerland. And from Geneva around the lake and then to Leuk. I only go to the best locations during my Switzerland visit, and here I am under a bridge, under the A9, and I'm just outside Leuk, L-E-U-K, that's Leuk over there. The river down there, milky looking river, is the Rhone, and up behind me, that mountain up there is called Eelgraben, and Eelgraben's made of a very soft rock. It's kind of almost like chalk, and as you can see here, this is a channel that comes down from Eelgraben up there. So when it's raining and during the winter, you get rocks and boulders and scree that drop from that, and then when you get rainfall, it rushes down here in this incredible clastic flow. And what I'll do is I'll put some links in the notes so you can go and see it. What you get is boulders. So see that boulder over there? That boulder over there is probably 2 meters long by about 1 meter wide, and the mud is quite dense, and so the mud, that being dense, picks up these boulders and rocks and hurtles down here in quite an incredible natural scene, rocks down here, and then dumps it all into the Rhone down there, and you can see some of the size of the boulders that come down there. The videos of it are amazing, and I'm going to come back when it's raining just to kind of see this. And what the Swiss engineers have done is they've put these steps in an attempt just to slow the flow down before it hits the Rhone, because otherwise it'll hit the Rhone, and before you know it, you're damming the Rhone, and you probably really don't want to do that. Yeah, Leuk, so Eelgraben up at the top, rocks down here. Really interesting. The thing that I like about this is that most geological processes take millions and tens and hundreds of millions of years, whereas this is like erosion in action. Mr. King, if you're watching this, was my old geology teacher, and we used to talk about geological time, whereas this happens in minutes. You know, the rocks will fall from Eelgraben, they'll sit there, they'll get picked up by the mud, whoomph, down here. By the time it gets down here, all the attrition has knocked all the edges off them. Fantastic. Leuk, underneath the A9, great location. Tom Scott, by the way, you should come here and do this one. This would be a good one for you. Into the Aston Martin BMT 214A, Shirley Bassey theme tune. Leuk up to Andermatt via the Furka Pass. Beautiful road. You'll remember it from Goldfinger, lots of hairpins. The glacier there is the source of the Rhine, so we saw that as the runoff. That's the Rhine there that feeds along through into Leuk. Amazing road. So up there is the Furka Pass, and there's a good scene in a James Bond film, if you remember, in Goldfinger, where he's driving the Aston Martin and he stops to look down at Goldfinger, and he feels a gunshot go past his head, and it's Tilly Masterson. Don't know whether you remember the Goldfinger storyline at all. And then he wrecks her tyres. That's not a euphemism. He wrecks her tyres and he pulls up at this place here, which used to be a Shell petrol station, and now it's a rather ropey looking hotel. And this is Andermatt, which is ski town. So there's a ski lift there. bloody steep ski lift as well that goes right up there. Yeah, so James Bond location. Looked better. Looked a lot better in the film. In the film, it looked as though it was miles away from anywhere, but actually it's just on the edge of the Andermatt town village. Andermatt's tiny, really. Lots of empty hotels. It obviously caters for the winter ski crowd. Very pretty, but dead. Not really a lot to do there. Drive through it next time. So this is Andermatt, and I spent the night here in a cute little hotel. And as I was saying in that other video, it was just up on the Furka Pass where Bond had his little spat with Tilly Masterson in her, I think she was in a Thunderbird, something like that. Anyway, he was in his Aston Martin and was just walking out to get breakfast. Someone's newish Aston Martin. Then Andermatt through to Lake Constance or the Bodensee to Lindau, small village. It's got an island and we stayed on the island. Hi there, so this is Lindau and I'm staying on the island today. Tonight I'm going to go to the opera in Bregenz, which is over in Austria, which is a boat ride away. Very pretty. Lindau, the island's nice. It's got like nice medieval vibe going onto it. Pretty buildings too. I love that outdoor European cafe restaurant vibe. We just don't seem to do it very well in the UK. Pretty old medieval town, good retail. So this is the harbour at Lindau on the island. That's the Bodensee, and over that way, kind of round the corner, is Austria, and that's where we're off to the opera tonight to go and see Madame Butterfly. Lindau's gorgeous. Really cute, very touristy, good retail, very pretty. The weather's good today, a bit humid, but probably 25-ish, I would have thought. Anyway, see you at the opera. Glass of something cold by the harbour? Yes, please. Very, very civilised. And then, now Zeppelins were built down at Friedrichshafen, which is along the lake, and there's a museum there which is worth going to see. So I've had a lovely day in Lindau, and now folks, for your evening entertainment is a night at the opera. So we're off over to Bregenz to go and see Madame Butterfly. So this is the harbour down in Lindau, and I'm on a like a little cruiser boat, I would say, like the ones that you get on the Thames. We're going to go through the gates and turn left and head down to the Austrian corner of the lake to Bregenz, and that's where the opera theatre is, which is based on the lake. So come with me, this should be fun. €22 return on the boat from Lindau down to Bregenz. You get a glass of champagne on the boat on the way. It was really nice, definitely worth doing. The weather this time of the year though can be quite unpredictable, and it was due to rain and it rained. Luckily my friend Tina had suggested getting a Mac, which I did. I looked absolutely spot on. It's a strong look, but luckily I can do it. When we got to the theatre, beautiful sunset, and the stage is out on a lake. It's a bit difficult to describe. The seating, probably about 2,000 people, is on the shore, and it's been in another Bond film. It's difficult to get an understanding of the size from this, but wait until you see this. And it's a big old stage, and it's got fantastic lighting. The orchestra plays in a building to the side of it. It's the Austrian National Symphony Orchestra, and they change the stage every season depending upon what opera they're performing. It's really good. And then from there to Geneva. This is Geneva. That's the lake over there. Geneva's quite upmarket. This is the Four Seasons behind me. And if you have a look at that white Rolls Royce there, it's got a Qatari plate on it, and you're not going to drive from Qatar to here. So you'd get that shipped specially out for you. And next to it there was a Kuwaiti Mercedes as well. When you start shipping your cars around the world, there's probably something wrong, isn't there? Somewhere there's something wrong. But anyway, Geneva is all right. It's not my favourite place in the world. Every watch brand in the world is here. and it's pretty expensive, pretty pricey. About 20 years ago, I was doing some work for an African oil and gas company. The company used a Swiss-based agent who used to funnel off some of the payments and feed it back to the people within the African oil and gas company. It was a corruption front. Now, I'm not saying that everybody in Geneva is corrupt, but I think there's a fair bit of bent money there. There was a good Swiss Army knife shop where you could create your own Swiss Army knife. You could customize the shells, customize the blades. Thousands of Swiss Army knives that I'd never seen before, including some that were copies of Leathermans. And I often talk about the difference between Swiss Army knives and Leathermans with people that are interested in that kind of thing. There was one there, though, that I thought I would like to get a grip of on a daily basis. Switzerland also has legalized weed, so you can buy it over the counter. But Switzerland is an expensive place. Back at the airport, slice of pizza, the equivalent of 10-12 quid. And of course, on the way out, you get your passport stamped. Brexit, was it worth it? No. So that was a long old day today, driving from Lindau in Germany through Austria into Switzerland, down to Geneva, where we did a bit of retailing that in Geneva, and then took a quick sprint through into France. Now at the airport, the EasyJet flight has been 2 hours delayed. So that's the worst bit of luck that I've had this weekend, really. But other than that, it's been a corker. So that means that we'll get into Gatwick at about 11:30, pick the car up, which is in long stay, and I'll be back home in the Surrey Hills for about 1ish, something like that, I would have said, before 1. Thanks for coming with me. Apparently I'm going to do a Swatch Amiga unboxing video next. Take care. Cheers. Bye.